Hi everybody, I'm gonna make a video of my brand new grinder here um, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you went on to the Amazon to check it out and saw the same comments that I saw, and I want to just clarify why I bought this grinder. Two specific comments you'll see. There's one by Mo Gazebo, and then right below his is another generic comment by some Amazon buyer. He didn't register an account with Amazon, and I'll be honest. Well, I'm not going to be honest. These are people who saw something that I probably didn't see, or they influence people's decisions on whether or not they should buy this grinder. So Mo Gazebo brought up some very, very key points here, and I'm glad that he did. Unfortunately, I think one of them, he did not do a really thorough investigation to it. But I'm going to shed light on that because I did go back and check to see what the problem was. So, well, first off, he says here as a con, it's only designed for grinding, this grinder. And a lot of the common problems people have with this grinder is the guard. It's not a quick adjust. So, first of all, Bosch is a company that makes tools for people who work. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is why I didn't buy that Radley grinder at Home Hardware, because it's just made for kids, you know. I want something that's made for an adult, and that's what this grinder is. So I'll be very honest with you. I bought this grinder for the grinder, and you'll see that that's what Bosch is selling you here, is the grinder. A great grinder at a great price. Okay? And these here are just a bonus. You know, that's very cheaply made. But you know what? That's going to do the job. Bosch is not selling you this. Bosch is selling you this grinder at a very, very cheap price because of that. You know? Because I want the grinder. So that's exactly what this is. I'm not buying it for the guard. I'm not buying it for the handle. I'm buying it because I want a quality grinder, and that's what Bosch did here. They gave you a quality grinder. Okay. So his con here is that this grinder is only meant for grinding. You can't use a cutoff wheel and a few other wheels. Okay, which is true, but you have to understand that's not the grinder. Bosch specifically says here in the owner's manual that do not use cutting wheels with this grinder, okay? And the reason why is because the guard provided is intended for type 27. In other words, the only reason why this restriction is in place is because this guard, Bosch is not guaranteeing that it will protect you from any debris or any broken discs that might come flying off. That's the only reason why Bosch says do not use a cutting wheel. Okay, so obviously I'm going to use this grinder like a grinder, and I'm going to completely ignore this. And I'll show you how to properly set the guard up so that this does not happen. Okay, in fact, I'll show that to you right now. First of all, to do that, you have to remove this piece here. Okay, so once you carefully remove this, okay, you take your guard here, right? And I'm going to show you how to properly set the guard so that you can properly use a cutting wheel. Okay, so you take your guard, okay, like that, and there you go. Just like that, you can use a cutting wheel on this grinder, because I bought this grinder for a grinder. Okay. And okay, so that clarifies that con there. His next con, which I did notice myself, but then I investigated it after, because it's the result of a feature in the grinder that persuaded me to buying this grinder. Okay, the gear housing, after about 2 minutes of use, it does get hot. And I'll take this gear housing apart to show you. Okay, now the reason why I bought this grinder was because Bosch is boasting that it has some sort of cooling system that prevents dust and debris from getting onto the armature and the coil. Okay, and that's one thing. That's one of the things why I bought the grinder, because of that. Because Bosch here is selling you a quality grinder. They're not selling you a guard, and they're not selling you other crap here. They're just selling you a grinder at an incredible price. You know, that's $50. You're not going to get a grinder like that for $50 with an excellent grip and a guard. That's $50. But anyway, the reason why this gets hot after 2 minutes of use is because the cooling system, it's not drawing air from here, because Bosch wants to protect the motor. And to protect the motor, you don't want dust and debris from the work you're doing. And that dust and debris is coming from the source of activity, which is here. So the fan is actually sucking air from here. And the air is being ejected here. And this motor gets hot very fast. And that heat comes over this housing and heats it up. So, you know, after testing it out and seeing that that's the reason why the housing gets hot, I know with confidence that I can work with this grinder all day and never have to worry about burning the gears on the inside. So that's another con. I wish Mo Gazebo did investigate that more closely. However, the fact that he put it in the comments shows that, you know, us human beings, we have to rely on each other in order to identify problems and come to solutions, or to investigate things to see exactly what's going on. So, you know, I'm glad that he put that down there, because you know, that is a great influence. I kind of didn't want to buy a grinder for that, but now that I bought the grinder, because he did post 2 pictures, and I found it odd that it would get very hot because it's well greased in there. Okay, so that's not going to be a problem. The tool, if you're not using the guard, I mean, like, who the hell cares about that? But I'll be honest with you, if you are using the guard, that is a pain in the ass. It's better you get a separate Allen key, you know. The fact that it's attached to the handle means you're not going to lose it. The problem is, when you put the guard on there and you go to adjust it, especially if you have a wheel on it, there's not a lot of range for motion here, you know. It's not a big sweep that you could do a really big turn and then pull it out and do another turn. It's going to be like this. It's very tedious. So, you know, it's a bad compromise. But, you know, Bosch didn't sell me the grinder because of ease of this, you know. Like, I mean, if you're a guy who works with tools and stuff, you have Allen keys, and I have Allen keys, so, you know. Right, there we go. Another problem solved. I bought a great grinder here, $50. It's a great tool. So, you know, another guy there said buyer's remorse, the guard. And he went for his Milwaukee. Well, you know, Milwaukee's a great grinder, but the thing is, that Milwaukee he grabbed there, that Milwaukee is probably, I think he would have probably paid over $105 for it with taxes and everything. This cost me $50. Okay? Right. So, with all those things said and done and out of the way, I'm going to tell you why I bought this grinder. So, the cooling system was one thing, right? It draws the air from here. The other thing is that I bought the grinder because the spindle here is 5/8 thick. So I really don't know how well that's going to play out in the future, but for me, a thicker spindle means that it'll be much more stable. The other reason why I bought the grinder, okay, right under these 2 flaps here are the brushes. And it has some sort of system that Bosch boasts about that protects the brushes from, you know, like when the brushes are worn out, instead of the actual body coming out and damaging the armature, something tells you that the brush is worn out. So let me see if I could just pry this up here. Okay, look at that. That is wicked. I really love how that's made. The brush is right here. The spring is right here. Okay. and the wires right there. You can see the armature inside there, and it's the same thing on the other side. It's really well made. I'm really impressed. You know why? I mean, I bought this for the grinder. Next, okay, I'm going to take this apart here and I'll show you. So let me pause the video. Right, and there it is. Really well greased. Okay, I don't really see a problem with that. I really don't see a problem with that. So you know, this is the very first Bosch power tool I've ever bought in my life, and I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. Bosch here has just made themselves a loyal patron, and in the future, when I go to buy, if I need to buy any power tools, I'm going to give Bosch the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna stick to them because I'm real impressed. Really impressed. Obviously, it's a bushing in there, but it's $50. You know, this grinder is not like the Mastercraft. Mastercrafts are designed to snag the eye, you know. People who have more money than sense buy something that looks good. This grinder fits really well in my hand. The handle is very uniform, so my intention is to build a holder for it so that I can use it as a bench grinder eventually in the near future. You know, the switch is quite nice. I might make a speed controller for it. I'm really interested in that. The other reason why I bought the grinder is it's very quiet when you're running it, and it's very solid, very maneuverable. And what was the 8-foot cord and the price point? So let's talk about the price point. My buddy Jack there, I was telling him I'm in the market of buying a grinder, and I know he's a Bosch guy, and I've been eyeing the Bosch grinders on Amazon there, and this one was only $5 more than the base grinder there. And the base grinder they had for sale, not for sale, but to sell on Amazon for $49.99. Jack told me that it would come on sale at Canadian Tire. You could buy two for $99.99. And he said if that happens, he'll go buy it, and I can buy the second one off of him. So I was going to do that, but I said, you know, my heart was on this grinder because it has better features than that grinder. It's quieter. It has a better cooling system. It has a better brush protection here. So I told Jack, you know, I'm going to buy this grinder instead. I mean, it's only $5 more. It has a 1 amp more powerful motor, and it looks nicer too. It looks nicer than the other grinder. And you know, I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. I think you're getting a great grinder here at a great price. And that, you know, if you're a guy who wants something with guards and all the fancy things, you're going to have to pay the price. And that's not the intention of this grinder. That's not why Bosch made this grinder. Bosch made this grinder to give a grinder to somebody who's not like a kid or a hobby. Give it to somebody who uses a grinder, who does stuff himself, but does stuff himself hardcore, you know what I'm saying? And that's what this grinder is. So I highly recommend you buy this grinder. And I'm very confident that you're going to have years and years of use out of this grinder. Me personally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to invest in buying a few extra bushings there. I'll probably buy 2 more. And I'll buy some brushes here. And I might buy an extra spindle. I'm not too sure. We'll see the price on that. But I'm pretty sure the spindle will be alright. And yeah. So I highly recommend this grinder. I don't regret buying it. I really love this grinder right now. It's the coolest thing I've ever had. I can't believe a man could be so excited and so mesmerized by something so simple. Oh my god. So I hope my review gives you guys the proper insight as to what this grinder is. You know, like these guys here. If you want a grinder with a good guard, like I said, you're going to pay the price. I saw the price for Makita and Milwaukee and on Amazon and in the store, and I mean, I would have bought it, but really and truly, that's all you're buying. This plus a nice guard, you know? And like I said, that's where my guard is going to be most of the time. is going to be flung somewhere or sitting on a shelf, because I'm just going to be using it, you know, because I want to see what I'm doing. So, you know, it's a great grinder. I hope you guys give it the respect it deserves. And I'm not telling you not to go and criticize it for what it has. It has what it has because of the nature of what Bosch intended it for. So, yeah. Anyway, have a great day, you guys. Take it easy.